everybody. Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast today. We have Austin Marshall from Hawaii with us, and we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. You need to join us. Let's get ready and go in. Hey, Austin, man, so glad to have you with us today on the Kingdom Podcast. It's our first time meeting. We've lived in the same state for quite a while. I'm not there anymore. You're getting ready to leave. But we lived in Hawaii, my wife and I, Joanne, for 10 years. You're still there, and didn't get to meet you or get to know you. Matter of fact, first time meeting you today, and I like what you do. We're going to get into a little bit about what you do with AI, and I've watched some of your stuff. It's amazing, and I encourage the people, look for Austin's information here as we go through the podcast today, and go check all of his stuff out. We'll have all the information in the description as well. But it's pretty mind-boggling, to be quite honest, the way that you guys are able to do the things that you do with this technology. So, Austin, open up, if you would, for us today, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company and what you're doing.
Sure. Totally. Well, thanks for having me on. So I started this project probably like a year and a half ago, a little less than a year and a half ago now. We are on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok currently. So if anyone wants to check out kind of what we're doing, you can totally go to any of those channels. Just type the AI Bible into the search bar, and you'll probably find us near the top of that search. But I'm doing videos right now. It's videos and still images that are interpretations of biblical verses, or trying to recreate the stories of biblical events and things like that. And just creating artwork for the Bible. Essentially, what I wanted to do at the beginning, when I first saw this technology, I first kind of saw it when Midjourney was starting to get popular, which is one of the AI image generating tools that people use, one of the most popular, probably the most popular right now. But when that one was starting to get big, I sort of saw it and I was like, hey, we should make an illustrated Bible with this technology. And so I was looking and I was like, there's kind of a lot of illustrated Bibles right now. Maybe we'll go with an online route. And so I started building up the Instagram, was the first thing that I did. And at first I was just putting Bible verses straight into the AI art generator and just seeing what it did. And then I would sort of tweak the prompts a little bit. And now I'm sort of just describing the biblical events to the AI art generator. And I've gotten pretty good at tweaking it in a way that I can kind of make it look how I want it to look. It doesn't always come out exactly. You can see some of the biblically accurate angels that we've done, which is probably some of my most popular videos.
Amazing.
Yeah, they really are. They look cool, but they're not 100% accurate to what I would want them to look like. And I mean, again, they can never be 100% accurate. I say that all the time because we just don't know what they look like. I wasn't there. No one was, there besides Ezekiel in some of these places, and John, like seeing these visions, and Daniel seeing these visions. And it's like, we're never going to be able to actually do exactly what it looked like, but I'm trying to get as close as I possibly can with this technology and creating videos for it and stuff like that. So that's sort of an overview of the project.
That's amazing. The one on the cherubim and the foreheads and that type of thing, it's I think it's probably pretty close. You're probably bumping 90% anyway. And, kick this off with a little bit of conspiracy theory type stuff. I don't know if you are into some of the things that are out there, but I saw the video and actually a transcript of this kid that went in and asked AI, was it the Nephilim, or who was it? And it came back and said, yeah, it was a Nephilim. And that type of stuff, fun stuff, I guess you could say. Yeah. But there's some serious stuff out there. And if anybody would know what the cherubim look like, it would be those guys. So they may have some things pre-programmed in there. I don't know. But I teach a lot on that kind of stuff, and actually writing a book on it. Be good have you ever done books or looked at doing illustrations for books and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we are currently, our big project is the app. So we're making an AI. It's essentially a Bible reading app, kind of like, think like YouVersion, basically. I mean, that's the most popular Bible app out there. But think like a Bible reading app that has AI generated images, and then I'm going to personally be curating and creating essentially all of those images. We're going to have videos in there. We're going to have daily devotionals. We're going to have some other really cool features that I'm excited about that I can't exactly go into yet. But one of them that I am excited to talk about is an AI chat bot that's biblically based and knows the Bible. It takes from resources that we know and trust, like Bible Project, for example. It'll take from like some of their articles and some of their teachings and things like that. And you can ask it questions. You can ask it, how old was Jesus at this point? Like, where did Lot live? Like, how old was Abraham right here? Like, what were the names of the disciples? Stuff like that. Like, even just easy or complicated questions, you can ask it for life advice and things like that, and it will give you biblically based answers right inside the app. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with AI, and we're kind of trying to implement a lot of it in a Christian way into this app and have it sort of be a hub for new AI technology within like a Bible and a Christian, perspective. So.
What led you guys to do this? What was the prompt or the push for you guys to create an AI Bible?
So I actually looked at the App Store one day, and I was looking for, it was when I was starting this project, and I was sort of throwing a lot of ideas around about what I wanted to do with technology. And I looked at the App Store one day and I was like, I wonder if there is illustrated Bible apps. And there honestly isn't. Like I know Bible Project has an app. They have some illustrations, but as far as like a Bible app that actually has like thousands and thousands of illustrations, we're trying to do at least 2 images per chapter. So, that's almost 10,000 images right there. And we want to do much, much more if we can, and just keep on adding to it. And in multiple different styles, we want to do like an anime style, cartoon style. We want to do like a vintage photo style, like all kinds of different styles of images we want to put into this app and let people sort of see biblical events in different ways and help them sort of understand what's going on. We have all these children's books that have everything in a cartoon style, and the images get presented to you so that you can understand the story better. And I feel like we don't really have a lot of resources like that as adults. And so our app's going to be completely free. Well, not completely free. It will be free to download, but then there will be, different features that you can pay for to help support us, obviously. But it'll be free to download, and people can see the images and get a cool resource for them to help understand the Bible better through images. And I don't think there's anything like that on the App Store right now. So that's kind of why we started it.
I've never heard of anything like this. I'm very excited about it. I think this is the way that the world's going. And a lot of people resist that and don't want it, but hey, change is inevitable. How do you see this, beyond your Bible app and the things that you guys are doing? How do you see this helping local churches or ministries or local businesses, entrepreneurs? How does AI overall fit into advancing someone? Because a lot of us don't know a lot about AI. We see what you do, and we think, wow, I could never do that, but that's pretty awesome. How do you think this could be a great tool for people?
Yeah, so I think the main thing that AI does is it helps automate small tasks, right? So any business can use AI to help automate things that are just kind of menial, normal tasks. I know the world is going to figure that out for different businesses and all kinds of different things. So my focus is to figure that out for the church ministries, how they can use that, use those tools and those resources to, enhance their ability to outreach and stuff like that. So that's one of the things we're going to have in our app is a lot of resources for people. I think, honestly, right now, a lot of artwork for the Bible is kind of just bad. It's just not good. You look up at some biblical event, or you look up some biblical creature or character or thing in the Bible, and a lot of the times on Google Images, it's just not good. There's not really a whole lot of good biblical TV shows or movies. There's a few really great ones, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, we don't have a good foothold in Hollywood right now. And I think this technology in the future is going to allow us to have a great foothold on Google Images, a great foothold in Hollywood, and a great foothold in places like Netflix and things like that, where we can use technology to level the playing field with Hollywood and level the playing field with secular artists, so that we have great artwork and great TV shows and great content for the Bible.
A lot of Christian movies actually are kind of embarrassing. They're bad. they're really like, okay, I can't show this to my friends or my family, or this is like beyond low budget. I mean, I give them a plus for the effort and the vision, but there's just not been that many tools and finances available to the church or to the Christian world to be able to produce good quality stuff. Nobody wants to do it. Mainly, I think, because Hollywood doesn't want the gospel out there. They don't want things about Jesus and that type of stuff out there for the most part. But we got some good stuff coming out. I think through not just Bible story, but good kingdom type messaging that like The Sound of Freedom and Mel Gibson's The Passion of Christ, which was a phenomenal movie. Very, very well made. But I think AI, like you're saying, is going to play a part in it for more people to get involved. Is that correct?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think people who resist AI are going to be hit with the cold water when they realize that all the people who embrace it are getting superpowers, in the sense that it's going to streamline. I mean, let's say two people are trying to make a TV show. One person's resisting AI, one person's, embracing it and utilizing it as much as they can. The person who embraces it is going to have their editing streamlined. They're going to have a lot of their CGI and things like that, where they can, they need to tweak the imaging and do post-production. They're going to have a lot of that streamlined. I mean, they're just going to have an easier, better time, a cheaper time with the production, and it's going to be a lot higher quality because they're just going to embrace all of these tools that streamline things that usually take time and money. And they're being presented with this gift of AI that is going to, take a lot of the work off their hands. And if they reject that, I think they're going to fall behind. And like you said, it's going to happen whether we like it or not. Like, this technology is inevitable. I saw that from the beginning and immediately was just like, okay, I mean, this imaging stuff is going to happen. So let's use it for the Bible. Let's use it for the gospel. Let's use it. People are going to use it for all kinds of evil things. I'm sure your mind can figure out where that's going to go, but we wanted to use it for the Bible and use it for good. And I just knew that it was inevitable anyway. So let's start making imaging for the Bible. Let's make cool artwork for the Bible with this tech.
That's awesome. There's a lot of stories out there, a lot of things about, fear of AI taking over, AI getting smarter than we are, or AI ruling the world. Personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they get what's put in it. Maybe it learns. I don't know. I'm not a techie guy. Like I said earlier, before we got on, I had to get help to get this podcast started today. My videos are out of town. So, I'm not that techie, but, talk about those fears. And does it learn? Will it get smarter? How do those things happen, Austin? And help us fix some of those things we're not understanding.
Sure. So I think the most important thing to realize that I think some people don't even realize that they think of AI this way, but a lot of people think AI has like a soul or a consciousness. It just doesn't. Like, it's a computer program. It's an algorithm. It's just a set of inputs and outputs. I mean, it doesn't, even if you ask it, do you have a soul? And it says yes, that doesn't mean it has a soul, right? Like, if you ask it if it's alive and it says yes, that doesn't mean that it's alive. Some people think it's demonic. If you ask it if it's demonic and it says yes, that doesn't mean that it's demonic. It's just taking what it thinks in this conversation is the most preferred output, right? So if you asked a person, are you alive? They would say yes. So if you ask the AI, are you alive? It's going to try to find a conversation where this interaction happened and go, oh yes, I'm a human or whatever. And it's just not. Like, it's an algorithm. The way that I think of it is it's the same type of input and output as a calculator, but just way more advanced, right? So if you type 2 + 2 in a calculator, it's figuring out that the answer is 4 because it knows that from its database of knowledge. It's a very limited database of knowledge in the sense that it's just numbers, addition, subtraction, multiplication, all that stuff. But it is just going into its database, figuring out 2 and 2 = 4. In the same way with an AI image generator or a chat bot or something like that, if you ask it, like, what's the date today? It's going to go into the internet, figure out what the date is today, and come back and tell you the answer. If you ask it, what is, I don't know, the capital of China or something like that, it's going to go and figure that out and come back and tell you or a more complex question. It's going to go and figure out the answer to the complex question or what people have said about it. and come back and tell you. It may be wrong, but it's just taking the input from what you asked it and giving you an output based on data that it has in its ecosystem, which is just millions and millions and millions of terabytes of data, because it's just the entire internet, right? So I don't think we need to be afraid of AI. I think that people who spread a fear of AI are either just uninformed about what it is, which is just an algorithm, or they are intentionally trying to lead people away from AI because they don't want it to take over jobs, or which I don't think it's going to do. I think it's going to give people superpowers in their jobs, or they think it's going to, I don't know. They think it's demonic. There's a lot of people at first when I started this, sent me messages or had comments that were saying like AI is demonic or something like that. I think some people have gotten over that, but they're just trying to like lead people away from utilizing the technology because of reasons like that. And I don't think we should be doing that. I think the world is going to use it regardless of what we think of it. So we might as well be using it to further the goals of the kingdom in any way we can.
So, there's been some stuff circulate about I'm a little sketchy on this. I don't know all the details, but about the guy at Google retiring or moving away because of where he saw AI going. Do you think those are scare tactics for the people? I know some of the things that came out was that they could think, they could learn, and they could take over. But, we've seen all the movies about it. The one Will Smith was in many years ago, I guess maybe 10 or 12 years ago with all the robots and stuff. Mm-hmm. Is that possible?
I don't think so. I mean, you can always just turn the off button on these things and then they won't be able to work anymore, right? If you disconnect them from their database, they won't be able to, have their knowledge or their ability to run anymore. If you want to get a little bit into the weeds with a conspiracy, I can hit you with what I really think, which is that.
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay, here we go. So I think the government and high-level corporations, in the same way that they try to control a lot of things that we think about, or a lot of the ways that we all think about things, just political things, stuff like that. I think they are trying to pull the general population away from using AI because they know how powerful it is. On a simple level, in the same way that they try to pull the population away from liking guns, essentially. And I know guns is kind of a messy topic, but the idea behind a gun is that it's the great equalizer in power, right? If I am a scrawny dude and I'm fighting The Rock, and neither of us have guns or weapons, he's obviously going to beat me. But if we both have guns, it's the great equalizer in the sense that we both have the same level of power, right? And I'm not trying to make it a gun debate, but in the same way, AI allows for me and Hollywood to be able to produce the same level of content and the same type of entertainment value out of this, in the sense that AI or Hollywood has all this access to these great CGI artists, and they have all this access to great lighting and great cameras and great writers and storyboarding and stuff like that. And I can use AI technology to do all of those things myself or with a small team. And I don't think the government and these high level corporations like that. And they don't like the idea of a future where low level peasants like you and me, right, have access to this technology that can equalize the playing field in terms of entertainment power and running businesses and stuff like that. So there's kind of the idea there from me.
I like that. I like that explanation. I'm on the same page with you on that. There's a lot of things the government tries to steer people away with to keep them from advancing so they can keep a foothold on them. Mm-hmm. Where did AI come from?
Like the idea of AI, or
how did it all come about? I guess would be a better.
I think it's just the natural progression of computer learning and algorithms, right? So, I mean, if you really think about it, a calculator is an AI. It's an artificial intelligence for numbers.
That's right.
And we've had that for 60 years? I don't know when the calculator was invented.
That I can do that real well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and in 60 years from now, people will understand AI that we have today in the same way they're understanding a calculator, and that it's an algorithm that, does things. It gives you an output when you give it an input. And with calculators, it's pretty basic. With the current AI technology, it's a lot more complex. So, I mean, AI, we've heard a lot of the term AI and a lot of news surrounding that in the past couple of years, but it's really been a thing for ever since computers have started, you know, have been invented and have started getting more advanced and stuff like that. Pretty much any algorithm is an artificial intelligence. It's just getting more complex, and they can learn and piece things together, but they can't learn anything outside of what we are outside of the inputs that we're giving them, which is millions and millions, like I said, millions of terabytes of data. But they are stringing things together, and they can make connections in the same way that a human can. But they're just learning from the inputs.
Yeah.
Just like
I see this also, it's a little bit different track, but I see this also as the way that the church was told to look at Bitcoin. Oh, it's the devil, it's the mark of the beast, stay away from it. Well, if they would have invested in it, they would have done okay.
Yeah.
I think from an entrepreneur mindset, which I'm a business owner as well, we need to be looking at these things not just to use for our businesses, but to invest in and find places to put our money into this type of technology. Because when it does begin to really explode and evolve, which is it's really doing, then there can be some type of residual income to be able to fund the kingdom with. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, totally. So my personal idea of what I think churches could do right now to help advance themselves with AI is, even just if a part-time position, or as long as they can afford it within their budget, they should hire somebody who knows AI and is learning the new technology and can figure out how to implement AI tech into their ecosystem of their church, and just speed up tasks as effectively and efficiently as possible. So even just little things like signing in on Sunday morning for like the kids, like children's Sunday school or something like that, or organizing parents' names for like a youth group retreat, or I don't know, even just any little thing that can be advanced with AI and go faster will help the church get more time to do what the church needs to do, which is outreach to non-believers and outreach to their community. Think about all the time that a pastor spends. And I don't know if you were a pastor at some point, but you may be able to know about this. Like, a pastor, I'm sure, spends so much time responding to emails and organizing lists and figuring out schedules and things like that. But if we had AI tools that made that 15 hours of their work week into 1 hour, well, now they have 14 extra hours to take people to coffee and to meet with people that are hurting and to visit people in hospitals and create more projects that they can work on and dial in their sermons and pray. I mean, they can spend more hours praying in the week, and that's important. Anything that AI can do to lessen the workload of everyone involved in the church will give them all more time to do the things that matter. I mean, it all matters, but they'll have more time to do all of it. It'll turn their 40-hour work week into a 60-hour work week, but they'll still only be working 40 hours.
Yeah. You tell any pastor that, I mean, they're like, sign me up, because pastors are some of the most overworked people on the planet.
Yeah, totally.
I had a guy tell me one time, he said, all you guys do is preach. That's all you do. You spend an hour a week where you follow me, buddy, see if you can keep up.
Yeah, I'm with it. I get that. I mean, from the outside, it doesn't look like pastors. For some people, it doesn't look like they do a lot, but I mean, they do. They spend a lot of time doing menial tasks too. And I think that if they had a person in their church that was like, hey, I'm going to implement these systems into your workday, this is going to speed up X, Y, and Z. Now you have essentially 10 extra hours to give to your community. Any pastor would be stoked about that. And it's essentially like saving them money, time and money.
Take your wife out to dinner.
Yeah.
Spend time with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, Austin. As far as is this technology in a place to where a church could even use it with their broadcasting, their streaming, their, creating those types of things to minimize, the workload a video production team or audio visual team would have on a Sunday morning? Is this type of stuff? The reason I ask that is because I got a friend of mine that had looked into a year or two ago using holograms at some of his satellite campuses. And I thought, that's amazing technology. It's expensive, but it's amazing. Is this something that, AI would be able to do for a church?
Yeah, so I don't really know anything about holograms, honestly, but I would say there's a lot of tools that can do a lot of different things that may minimize the workload for multiple aspects of something. And so it may not minimize workload for like the main part of what you're doing, but if it can minimize other aspects of it and give you more time to focus on that big part of it, then you're in business. I'll give you a little cheat sheet, and anyone who's in ministry right now, you should definitely write this down. There's a website called futuretools.io, and it is essentially a database that keeps track of hundreds of different AI tools. It allows users to rate them and review them. It talks about what they do. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on there, from like things that clean up audio, things that sharpen images and sharpen videos, create videos for you. Like there's tools where you can essentially type in a video that you want, and it will take stock images. It will create an avatar. It will give the avatar a voice, and it will make the avatar talk on the screen. And it will essentially just make a minute-long video of how to surf or whatever. I mean, you could literally make like a 12-minute video of like how to preach if you wanted to, and it would just do it for you.
Wow.
If you just get the right input. So the technology isn't perfect, and you can even go in and edit it afterwards. So it will give you the file that you can actually pull into a program like Premiere or like Final Cut or something like that, and you can edit it yourself and change things. And Premiere even has AI implication, or Adobe, I guess, has AI implementations into their system. So if you need to clean something up and change it, you can use AI to just fill in the gaps and stuff like that. So futuretools.io, I would recommend to any ministry. I mean, you could really recommend it to anyone, but I'm hoping people in ministry will use it more than people in the world, because man, there's a lot of tools on there that will speed up a lot of different things. Even just menial tasks like replying to emails and scheduling things and stuff like that. So
wow. So I don't want to hold you too awful long. I want to talk about your Bible app. Is that available online, or is it in process? If it's not, when is it launching? I want people to really be able to catch this, because your videos are amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we are, I was hoping we did a Kickstarter for it in August of last year. And so we were hoping to get it launched within that year, but there's been a lot of different reasons why we weren't able to do that. One of the reasons was because the technology was improving and we wanted to update the images. So a whole new, essentially, version of Midjourney and a lot of the different tech that we were using got released after, like right around the time when we were going to release the app. So we wanted to make sure that we updated the images. We have our developer, whose name is Sam, who's doing a great job, and he's implementing all of the different things that we need within the app, like features like note taking and highlighting verses and playing videos. That's going to be hard, daily devotional, stuff like that.
Wow.
So he's building out a lot of the features still, and we want to make sure that they look good before we launch it. So it's not available yet, but if you follow me on any of my socials, TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, Instagram is the main one for sure, but I will definitely update anyone on there. You can join my Patreon too, which is free. If you want to support me personally, I'm doing full time on this ministry. So I'm not really quite making enough to support the family yet, but if you want to support me, that's a good way to support me, is through Patreon. That is linked in my Instagram. And then I'll update people on Patreon too. And that creates a email list. So you can get on the email list if you join the Patreon. And it's completely free. There's a paid tier, but you can do it for free too.
That's awesome. And we'll have that information too. You'll get that to us. We'll have it in the description here. I noticed something when you were telling us where people could find you. I noticed you didn't say Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook is, Man, I don't know what to say about Facebook. Facebook is like the most complicated thing on the planet. I can't figure out. It's weird because Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company, which you would think makes it easy to cross post from Instagram to Facebook, but it is not. They make it really hard. So I have a page on Facebook. I have a couple of our posts up there, but I'm still trying to figure out how to actually uh, get it to cross post over there. It doesn't let me cross post videos. Don't ask me why. I don't know why Instagram and Facebook would not do that. They're owned by the same company. Doesn't seem like it would be that hard to implement, but they didn't do it. So I really want to be on Facebook, but it's just hard to like log into that. It's hard to
Yeah.
get it connected the right way. So when the app does launch, I'll go on Facebook and I'll update it. So if you want to follow just for the launch of the app and you want to make sure that you have something and you only have Facebook, you could go on there and follow us, and I'll create a post.
What's your favorite media platform, social media platform that you think is the solid, most watched, used platform on the market?
Yeah. So for what I'm doing, Instagram is the best because I can post all kinds of different content. So I can do still images and videos. And then the stories are good for, like what's happening today kind of thing. So I think if you use Instagram in the right way, that's probably the best one for me, for what I'm doing. But of those three, I mean, YouTube is probably the most popular and the most used. YouTube is it's crazy how much views YouTube gets, billions of views a day, just every video on that platform. So
they demonetized us. We've gotten a couple of hits and they've actually taken all of our ability to be monetized away. So I'm mad at YouTube at the moment. But
they all do that. They all suck. I mean,
that's right.
I've experienced that a little bit too, and I'm trying to stay away from. It's really the political stuff that gets you because they don't like certain politics, and it's not fair. It's just not. But they just ban you for certain things, which is stupid. But I'm trying to stay middle of the road, not because that's how my views are, but just because that's the best way to be able to reach people.
I've tried to do that, but I just don't have the ability to do it.
Yeah, no, I get that. There's definitely a place for people like that too. That's just as important as what I'm doing. I think that people need to get hit with the cold water. I'm probably not the person to do that. I'm the person that brings people into the Bible. But once they kind of get in and realize the truth of the gospel and the truth of Jesus in the world, they probably are going to get hit with the cold water, and they'll go to other sources like you and people like Charlie Kirk, who gets banned, I'm sure, all the time. Yeah. And different resources like that, where people kind of get hit with the cold water of the reality of political climate and what the world thinks of Jesus and what the world thinks of us. So,
yeah. And I believe this is one reason this tool is going to be very important to help bring the reality of who Jesus really is to the world. And it's going to be another tool to evangelize and disciple and put the word out about the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Man, I'm excited about it. And I want to thank you, Austin, for being with me on this podcast, man. You've blown my mind with the stuff you do and even the information you've given us today. It's amazing. I'm sitting here thinking I could never learn this. It's just way out of my paradigm, but I know that if we put our mind to it, we can we can learn things, and things are probably easier than what we think. Tell us again, before we go, how people can follow you, find you, and support you.
Yeah. So Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I do have the Facebook. I'm going to try to get it figured out at some point, but it is hard. Instagram, you can log in with your Facebook account on Instagram, I'm pretty sure. So if you don't have an Instagram, it should be very easy to get one. And you can get it on your phone. You can see it on your browser too, but I keep everyone up to date there. And then I have links in all three of those places that bring you to my Patreon. And then other various things. I have a music project called Sanctify that is AI music, AI Christian music, which is really cool. So if you want to check me out there on Spotify, there's a link to it on my Instagram. All the links to everything that I do is on the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube. So if you want to click the link tree, you can connect with me there. And then if you want to support me, Patreon is probably the best way to support me. I don't want to just take like money from people. I like to give back. So Patreon gives back. There's tons of wallpapers, desktop wallpapers, daily devotionals. I've kind of slacked on a little bit, but we are doing daily devotionals too. Once I sort of get moved and have don't have to be like super busy all the time. We're going to do more daily devotionals and all kinds of stuff on there. So yeah, if you want to support me, those are the best ways to do it. That's the best ways to follow me. And again, Greg, thank you so much for having me on too. It's been a blast.
Good, brother. Hey, folks, this is the way things are going. I encourage you to follow Austin. AI is the future, and we need to grab it. We got to grab a hold of it. All right, brother. Thank you so much. I'll give you the shaka, and look forward to seeing you in the future, man. Thank you so very much for being with us here on the Kingdom Podcast.
Yeah, thank you.